Let's dive deeper now into what's happening with Ukraine and this meeting tonight between Vladimir Putin and President Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff. John Herbst is the former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine under President George W. Bush. He's now senior director of the Atlantic Council's Eurasia Center. Ambassador, great to have you. So Trump envoy Steve Witkoff met tonight with Vladimir Putin. It was a closed-door meeting. How does that work? Is it just the two of them in a room with translators?
Probably. Putin wants to control the negotiations with the White House. So he doesn't want even his senior officials, like Foreign Minister Lavrov, conducting discussions on the war with, in this case, Marco Rubio. So he thinks Putin believes he can manipulate Trump. And so the fact that now he's dealing with a friend of Trump's, a businessman of great accomplishment, but not a diplomat, not someone who really knows geopolitics, he feels he can get the message to Trump that he wants.
So Putin is a former KGB agent. Do you think he can be trusted? I just asked Senator Mullen this. And
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course he can't be trusted. And he's demonstrated that over the past 20 years, breaking multiple treaties, breaking multiple commitments. But one thing he learned as a KGB agent is how to read and manipulate people. That's his great strength. And he's using that, or trying to use that, on President Trump.
One former Russian diplomat to the United Nations said today, Putin has no interest in a ceasefire. He thinks he can win through fighting. I think he feels quite confident. This diplomat went on to say he thinks Trump is much more interested in a peace deal than he is in Ukraine.
I think that analysis is right, but I don't know for sure what is on President Trump's mind. He has essentially said he wants a sustainable peace. That means a secure and sovereign and independent Ukraine. If he agrees to the terms that Putin has tried to insert into the ceasefire, he's allowing Putin more easily to take control of Ukraine. So that would be a very bad look for President Trump if he agreed to that.
This diplomat also said that Putin is, quote, not afraid of Trump. But we just heard, we played it at the beginning of the show, President Trump in the Oval Office, and this is the second time he has said this, he's alluded to some sort of secret information he has as leverage over Putin. Do you have any idea what that might be?
No, but I would not dismiss the idea that Putin has a certain wariness with Trump. In other words, he believes he's able to persuade him, but he also understands, I think, that if he crosses Trump and Trump understands that, that could be very bad for Putin and for Russia.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Putin has already raised actually some very real, sort of fundamental concerns. Who gives the orders for this ceasefire? Who makes sure everyone on both sides follows the ceasefire, down to, you know, a random soldier on the front line someplace? And who decides whether or not that ceasefire has been violated? None of that's been figured out yet.
Some of those concerns, some of those details are significant and need to be addressed in some fashion. But he added other things which have nothing to do with the ceasefire, that have everything to do with his intention of taking control of Ukraine. So he wants, assurances not only that Ukraine would not join NATO, and Trump has kind of conceded that, but that Ukraine would be demilitarized. And Trump's ideas about deterring future Russian aggression include putting European troops into Ukraine and sending arms to Ukraine. So Putin has simply denied things which are basic to achieving a sustainable ceasefire, which is Trump's stated objective.
Ambassador Herbst, obviously there are a lot of hurdles to go through before any sort of ceasefire deal is achieved here, but boy, it would be great if the fighting would stop. Really appreciate you coming on tonight and lending us your expertise.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.